In November, the nation celebrates Native American heritage. In a groundbreaking four-part miniseries called Native America, PBS recently presented a look at our nation's first inhabitants, going back 15,000 years, exploring not only their roots and their culture, but also their triumphs and the tragedy that ultimately led to the Trail of Tears. It also included their current endeavors to hold on to and to rediscover their glorious past. Tonight, we go even deeper into one community that was once forcibly separated from its identity by the systemic destruction of their native language by settlers and missionaries. The Mohawk are one of the first nations to inhabit what we now call New York, and they're reclaiming their culture through the power of their native tongue. Jenna Flanagan has the story.
Language. It's defined as a method of communication used by a community or country. Sometimes written, but almost always spoken, the commonality bonds individuals within a group and informs its overall culture. As of today, there are roughly 6,500 languages spoken worldwide, with nearly 30% having fewer than 1,000 native speakers, putting them in a very real danger of going extinct. So how does a community ensure that their language lives on in future generations? You start with the children.
The language gives us our identity. It teaches us the culture, it teaches us how to be, it teaches us how to be grateful. And without that, who are we?
That's Elvira Sargent, an elder member of the Akwesasne Mohawk Nation, which lies at the northern border of New York State. The Mohawk are working hard to not only maintain their language, but ensure it has a future with its language immersion school.
It's a completely different learning experience. I mean, over time, we had to evolve.
The Akwesasne Freedom School was founded in 1979 after decades of Mohawk children being forcibly removed from their families and native lands to attend boarding schools run by priests, where English was mandatory and the Mohawk language forbidden, effectively putting up a barrier between the people and their culture. Freedom School Level 4 teacher Dohone Alakte, or as he's known by his English name, Levi Hearn, explains the long-term cultural effect.
Most of the families in this community aren't traditional because of what had happened with boarding schools and different types of assimilation with like the Jesuits, even in the 1700s.
Elvira says she remembers her family members struggling with the separation.
My sister actually went to a residential school and my uncle, and they would be there all year, come home if once a year. But what I know with that is that they were not allowed to speak the language. They were punished. My sister doesn't know the culture at all. She still knows the language. She gets stuck. So it has had a lasting impact. Like there's maybe people my age and maybe a little older. We didn't have that nurturing from our parents because they didn't know how to nurture us or show us love. We knew they loved us, but oh God. But it was hard for them to show us.
The boarding school separations left a lasting impact on the family. However, Elvira was too young to be taken to boarding school, so she learned to speak Mohawk at home.
That's all I heard growing up. But then eventually even that part got lost.
And it's that same natural way that guides the Freedom School.
We actually started at the age of 1, where they can go into our language nest. Because a long time ago, this was their first language. Not all parents can speak the language, so they're not hearing it until they enter school.
And the focus is on developing conversational skills over compulsory.
I think they really should try to learn it with another speaker, with an elder. I'm afraid with it being in a classroom all the time, that it's going to become a classroom language. And I don't want to see that happen.
It's just before 8 a.m. at the Akwesasne Freedom School, and the kids are already getting dropped off for the day. The school encompasses a small campus of 3 buildings, but it's not structured like an American public school. The kids aren't regulated by grade, but rather their Mohawk language ability level. So a child at level 2 isn't necessarily a second grader, but rather a kid whose conversational skills are still developing. And that child can be any age.
My name is Gasanogohe. Can you say it?
Gasanogohe?
Yep, Gasanogohe.
Clearly, I am a newcomer to the language. But Gasanogohe is not only proficient, she's the level 8 language teacher and breaks down Mohawk pronunciation in a way my English-only brain can process it.
K-A-H, Ga. San, Na, Go, He. Her. And this comes from the word Gasana, which means a name, and this Gohe is a journey, she who retrieves names.
That is so amazing that that's your name given what you teach for a living. And that's one of the tenets of the Mohawk way, or culture. Every individual has their own name, just one that's unique to themselves. Clan mothers of the Longhouse are in charge of picking names, and there are no repeats, juniors or seniors. As she continues explaining the phonetics to me, she shares how modern-day speakers make the ancient language work in present day.
So our language is descriptive. So the way we've adapted to all these new words is just to describe what is going on. So like if you were a camera person, we'd say, oh, he's a filmer.
How would you then describe what a journalist does? Like if I were to describe myself in the Mohawk language, how would I call myself?
I'm trying to think. Maybe Yegaladus. She tells stories.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Wait, how do I spell that?
Yegaladus. I could spell it for you on the board.
Oh, please do.
This ye is pronoun for her, and this dun is the telling of, and this is habitual. So she is a teller, she is a storyteller.
I absolutely love that. Working with Longhouse traditions, the Akwasanse Freedom School has its own set of standards and requirements for teachers. They aren't looking for traditional American certificates or degrees, but rather a membership within the nation, fluency in the Mohawk culture and language, and above all, a passion for imparting those traditions onto the next generation. Throughout the school, the kids are encouraged to help one another in their language development, and in some classrooms, absolutely no English is spoken at all. So to further my meager Mohawk language skills, I turned to some of the school's most enthusiastic teachers, the 7- and 8-year-olds in level 2. Sego, what does that mean? Hi. Hi, Sego, is that how you say it? Ona? Ona, and what does Ona mean? Bye. Oh, so when I leave today, I'm going to say Ona to all of you guys. Ganalaktas, or as she's known by her English name, Tara Skitters, is the school's office manager. She handles admissions, budgeting, hiring, and ensuring the school meets its overall mission. And part of that is creating a familial atmosphere for the kids.
So it's a very small percentage of people that come here. The families that want their kids here, a lot of them are traditional, who, you know, follow the Longhouse and the Longhouse traditions. I think our overall values are more the concentration, respect, and taking care of the earth, and being kind to one another.
42 families comprising of 71 kids currently attend the Akwasanse Freedom School, and to help immerse them into the culture of the Longhouse traditions, each day starts with a community social. Teachers and students gather in one of the larger classrooms and begin with Ahonde Gale Huadekwa, which loosely translates means the business before all else. Thanks is given to the Creator for everything. It's an important part of the Longhouse tradition, which focuses on being grateful for the gifts the earth gives and how they aid people in life. They participate in several morning songs, or stomps. Songs about hunting or gathering are performed in a ceremonial way. These are open events that anyone can attend, but for the Mohawk, sacred ceremonies are closed to non-nation members. Even though the Freedom School has less than 100 kids enrolled, the Akwesasne Mohawk community is 16,000 strong, and the reservation overlaps the U.S.-Canadian border. So kids who live on the New York side also have friends and family in the Ontario and Quebec provinces. The Freedom School has students from both sides of the border, but according to Level 4 teacher Dohoni Alakte, that's our border, not theirs.
When they're here, they talk about being in the American or Canadian side, because we ourselves don't feel as we're a part of the American or Canadian government. We feel that we're a sovereign nation still.
Tara says one of the biggest worries that parents have is if all this Mohawk immersion will limit their child's ability to learn English and matriculate into one of the nearby public high schools.
The reality is English is everywhere. They're gonna learn it. I tell parents all the time, like, don't stress about it. If your child is ready to learn English, teach them at home. Don't worry about it, they'll get it. But once they leave here, where are they gonna learn the Mohawk language?
However, once the Freedom School kids start attending public high schools, community Longhouse elder Elvira says it's a bit of a culture shock.
We hear back from the students, oh my God, I can't believe the way they talk to their teachers. Or our students, they find them quiet, but it's because they're respectful.
And Tara agrees. She says it's not uncommon for her to get calls from former students on break asking if they can come back and help out for the week. But to truly expand the school's capacity, Tara says they're hoping to build a new structure that can house everybody.
Having a new building would really help us all to be in one building, so there's nobody segregated from anybody else. It's good for those younger kids to see the older kids using the language, the older kids doing things, because that gives them role models.
To pay for all of this, the Akwesasne Freedom School charges a unique tuition, either $500 per student or a donated quilt. Tara says each one can bring in a few $1,000s, generating enough to fund the current school. Families contribute handmade quilts based on the number of children they have enrolled, and some quilts are even donated by professionals.
This is a quilt done by the Peacemakers of New Paltz, New York. They're always very unique, and people come here just to bid on these, because they've been doing this for, I want to say 20-something years now.
In all, Tara says the mission of the Akwesasne Freedom School is to ensure the survival of the Mohawk culture and language.
You know, I want people to know that we're not extinct. You know, people think that an Indian is a certain way, or that we all are the same, and we're not. There's so many different nations, different clothes, different cultures, different songs, everything is different. And, you know, we have to work really hard to maintain those things. There's so little of us, you know, like compared to other populations, but we're here, we're doing it, we're gonna keep doing it, we're not going nowhere. We have kids who are learning all this stuff and they're gonna carry it on, and we're just doing our thing.
Big hug before I go, everybody! For Metro Focus, I'm Jenna Flanagan.